All right, for today's lesson, we're going to learn how to graph a line from an equation. All right, so we have been learning about the equation of a line, which equals y equals mx plus b. We've been learning about different parts of this equation. We've learned that the m represents slope, and we kind of refer to m to remember that it's slope by thinking of movement, because movement starts with m, and it's our movement up and down the line is our slope. And then b is our y-intercept. And we refer to b as well as beginning. We can remember that it's b for the word beginning, because that is where we are going to begin to graph our line. It's going to be our starting point. So the y-intercept is where we're going to look to put our first point on our graph to create our line. All right, and then the y and the x represent all of the coordinates of our line on our graph. Okay? So let's look at an equation for a line, like we have been. So if we have a line with the equation of -5/4 x. All right, so if I look at that, I know my slope is always going to be multiplied by the x. So the -5/4 is going to be my slope. And we know that slope equals rise over run, or change in y over change in x. Okay, so that's going to be a -5/4. So in this equation, the negative is kind of written out front. So you could place it up here with the -5, or you can even place it down here with the -4. And we will graph both and show you that those are equal, okay? Because a negative divided by a positive gives you a negative, and a positive divided by a negative also gives you a negative. So let's get a piece of graph paper and let's graph y equals -5/4 x. All right, so as you recall, this is our y-axis, this is our x-axis, this is the positive side of the x-axis, the positive side of the y-axis is up, and we go down here, this is the negative portion, the y-axis, and the negative portion of our x-axis, all right? I'm going to maybe zoom out a little bit if I can, so you can see the whole thing. Okay. All right, so if I come back here and I look at my equation, I have the slope, but what is the y-intercept? I said that's the beginning of our graph. That's where we're going to start. So I don't have another number here, so that must mean that our y-intercept is 0, because there's nothing there. So all of our lines today are going to have a y-intercept, or b, of 0, okay? So b is going to equal 0. So that means my line crosses the y-axis at y equals 0, which is going to be right here dead center. So all of our lines today, our beginning point is going to be right in the center, because our slope, our intercept, our y-intercept is going to be 0, okay? So then I have a slope, let's start with this one, of -5/4. So that means I have a change in y of -5, so I count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then my change in x was a +4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then +4, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to end up right here. So I had a change in y, -5, change of x, +4. All right, I have those 2 points. I'm going to you just need 2 points to make a line. So I'm going to put my ruler through those 2 points. I'm going to draw a line. All right, let's try it with using a 5 over negative 4, and let's see if that gives us the same line. Okay, we're going to try the slope of 5 over negative 4. So that means we have a positive rise of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then a run of negative 4. So we're going to go to the left 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh look, we end up right on our line. So either way, you can put the negative number with the rise or the run when you graph it. Connect those 2 points, it's going to give you the exact same line, okay? All right, let's try a different equation. Let's try y equals negative 3x. All right, so our slope is the number right by the x. It's a negative 3, but slope is a fraction. So in order to make a whole number a fraction and not change the value, you just put it over 1, right? Negative 3 divided by 1 is a negative 3. So that's going to be our slope. And then our intercept, we don't have another number there again, so it's just going to be, it's just like I'm adding 0. So our slope, or y-intercept, equals 0. Okay, again, I'm going to start plotting right in the middle. My beginning point is 0. That is where this line is going to cross the y-axis. And my slope, it has a rise of negative 3 and a run of 1. Okay? So I'm going to have a rise of negative 3, which means I'm going to go down 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go over 1. Okay, so I had a rise of negative 3, a run of 1. So kind of make that bigger so you can see that. Okay, I'm going to connect these 2 dots with my ruler. I'm going to make another line. There we go. So that is the line of that equation. Okay, let's do another one. Let's go with pink here. Okay, let's try graphing another equation. Y equals 3 halves x. My slope is 3 halves, so 3 halves equals m. My y-intercept, b equals 0. Okay, there's nothing there in my equation, so b equals 0. So I'm going to start again. This dot's getting heavy right here in the middle. My line's going to cross the y-axis right at 0. And then my slope is going to have a rise of 3 and a run of 2, both positive, okay? It's going to be my change in y over my change in x. Okay, so I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go over 2, 1, 2. Now if you wanted to, because how we said slope was like stairs, right? So I'm going up 3, I'm going over 2. I could do that again. If I want my line to be really precise, I could go up 3 again and over 2 and make a second set of stairs. I could keep going up 3, over 2, and I could put my ruler through all of those points. But I don't have to, because if I just put them through the first 2 points that I have, the y-intercept of 0 and this first one I had, my line is going to just go through all those points and create my staircase. Oh, I should drag it through the lower half. It'll just be a little more precise if you make more than 2 points, but not perfect. It's fine. Alright, so that's the equation for this line right here. So in my honors class, they were getting a little bit confused about, well, what is the y and what is the x? So when we created our tables, x, y, sorry for that pause, I can plug any number in for x and get the y value for this line. So let's say I'm going to have an x of 0. Well, my y is 0. Oh, that's right, because my y-intercept, right, is 0, because there's nothing there. So 0, 0 is going to be a point on my line. Okay, so what if x was 1? Well, then y is going to be 2 times 1, which equals 2. What if x was 2? Well, then y is going to be 2 times 2 equals 4. Y would be 4. And just this kind of all goes back in a circle as we look and see, okay, what did I say our slope is 2 here? Well, change in y is from 0 to 2 is 2. Change in x is 1. So I have a slope of 2 over 1. So these are just the x and y coordinates of every point on this line. Okay? So y equals 2x, I start in the middle. I had a rise of 2, a run of 1, a rise of 2, a run of 1. All my graphs are starting to go on top of each other here. That means it's time to stop. Alright, so this is what we're doing for our assignment today. If you have any questions, let me know. I think it'll be pretty straightforward. Just remember today our y-intercept, our b is always going to be 0, so our beginning point is always going to be at the origin. Alright, right in the center. Alright, good luck.